waking up and discovering that we have a new neighbor in the Milky Way. Sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this possibility is not as absurd as it seems? Get ready for a cosmic journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about our place in the universe. Just imagine, on an ordinary day, you turn on the TV to watch the morning news, and suddenly, a bombastic headline takes over the screen. Astronomers detect wandering black hole approaching the Milky Way. Your heart races, your mind goes blank for a second. Black hole, wandering, in our galaxy? How is this possible? Well, my dear viewer, the unimaginable has just become our new reality. A wandering black hole, a cosmic monster of unimaginable proportions, is on a collision course with our galaxy. And it's not just another celestial object passing by. No, this unexpected visitor has the potential to rewrite the destiny of billions of stars, planets, and yes, our own. The clock of humanity has begun to tick, and each tick-tock resonates as a grim reminder of what is to come. We are facing a scenario that would make even the most renowned scientists and science fiction writers gasp. A black hole, that mysterious and terrifying cosmic phenomenon, is no longer confined to a distant point in space. He's on the move, roaming the interstellar void like a silent predator, and our solar system is in his sights. But what exactly is a wandering black hole? How did it form and why is it moving toward us? What will be the consequences of its arrival for Earth and for all life as we know it? And most importantly, is there any hope for humanity in the face of this unprecedented cosmic threat? Get ready to dive deep into the depths of space and time as we uncover the mysteries of this extraordinary astronomical phenomenon. Let's explore the secrets of black holes, understand how they can roam the cosmos, and finally confront the question that now haunts every mind on Earth. How would humanity cope with the arrival of this gravitational titan? This is not just another documentary about space. It is a wake-up call, a call to cosmic consciousness, an invitation to contemplate our own mortality in the face of the most powerful forces in the universe. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about our existence and our place in the cosmos. As we embark on this fascinating and terrifying journey, remember, knowledge is our greatest weapon. Understanding what awaits us could be the key to our survival. Keep your mind open and prepare for a journey through time, space, and human existence itself. Before we dive into the terrifying depths of roaming black holes, you need to act now. If you're here, it's because you're fascinated by cosmic mysteries and the most extreme phenomena in the universe, so this is the perfect time to join our stellar community. Press the subscribe button right now and activate the bell to receive notifications, because what I'm going to reveal today could completely change your view of the fragility of our planet in the vast cosmic ocean. And if you're already subscribed, leave a like right now to help this content reach more people curious about the secrets of the universe. Now get ready, the roaming black hole is coming, and with it, the greatest challenge our species has ever faced. The countdown has begun. Are we ready to face the unknown? Fellow explorer of the cosmos, have you ever imagined the invisible killer lurking in the shadows of space, ready to devour everything in its path? This is the wandering black hole, one of the most terrifying and fascinating parts of the universe. Unlike black holes that are anchored in the centers of galaxies, these cosmic nomads, they have no home. They wander the interstellar void like gravitational ghosts, leaving behind only destruction and mystery. But how do these monsters form? The answer is in cataclysmic events that defy the imagination. Imagine two galaxies colliding, a spectacle of brute force where billions of stars are ripped from their orbits. In this chaos, supermassive black holes can be thrown out of their galactic cores, gaining enough speed to become eternal travelers. Another origin, stars with monstrous mass, 20 to 50 times larger than the Sun, which explode in supernovae so violent that their collapsed core receives a Christmas kick gravity, launching the newborn black hole on an aimless journey. Here's the real horror. These objects are invisible until it's too late. Without emitting light, we only detect them by effects of its severity. Imagine a predator that you don't see but feel, a presence that distorts the space-time around you, creating anomalies in the orbits of planets and stars. When a rogue black hole enters our solar system, its gravity acts like a giant hand, crushing heavenly harmony. Neptune and Uranus would be the first to suffer. Their orbits that were stable for billions of years would become chaotic within decades. Kuiper belt asteroids would turn into runaway projectiles, and even Jupiter, the gas giant that shields us from impacts, would rock like a boat in a gravitational tsunami. And the Earth? Our planet would be dragged into a cosmic nightmare. The intruder's gravity would not only destabilize our orbit, but create tidal forces capable of tearing continents apart. The Earth's core would convulse, releasing earthquakes of unprecedented magnitude and volcanoes that would darken the sky with ash. The oceans would boil in some places and freeze in others, while the atmosphere would be sprint like a veil, leaving us exposed to the lethal vacuum of space. But the danger doesn't stop there. Roaming black holes have an insatiable appetite. If they got closer to the sun, they would create an accretion disk, a whirlpool of superheated plasma glowing with the intensity of billions of suns. This light, however, would be a last breath of beauty before the darkness. The sun, our source of life, would be deformed and consumed gradually, while the Earth would plunge into a permanent ice age or be ejected to the depths of interstellar space, where the absolute cold, minus 273 degrees Celsius, would freeze even the air we breathe. And the scariest thing, these monsters are not rare. It is estimated that hundreds of millions of them travel through the Milky Way. Some have stellar mass, but others, the intermediaries or supermassive, are so powerful that they could deflect entire stars from their paths. Worse, we don't know how many are close. A wandering black hole could be just a few light years away now, and we wouldn't realize it until the first gravitational perturbations begin to dismantle our solar system. And you, Trailblazer, what do you think? Will we ever develop technology to detect these cosmic predators in time? Or are we doomed to be surprised by a force that not even light can escape? Leave it in the comments. Invisible, if you believe that science will find a way to track these monsters. End, if you think that when one of them arrives, it will be our inevitable fate. Pathfinder friend, imagine a cosmic enemy so powerful that you don't even need to get close to start the chaos. A wandering black hole does not need to cross the threshold of the solar system to trigger the end times. Its gravitational hand is so long and relentless that, even from light years away, it would already begin to weave our destruction. I will reveal how this titan of darkness would transform our little cosmic corner into a nightmare of biblical proportions. It all starts with a gravitational mess. The first signs would be subtle: comets from the Kuiper belt changing trajectory, asteroids colliding for no apparent reason, and even Neptune, the icy guardian of the solar system, starting to wobble in its orbit. Astronomers would notice anomalies in the data, but no one would take it seriously until Uranus, the tilted giant, started moving like an out-of-control top. Little by little, the intruder's gravity would distort the fabric of space-time around us, creating ripples that would affect every planet. Jupiter, the gravitational protector that has saved us from countless asteroid impacts, would begin to shake in its orbit. Its moons, Europa, Ganymede, Io, would be ripped off like leaves in a hurricane, becoming interstellar projectiles that could collide with each other, or even Mars. Saturn, with its majestic rings, would see its ice particles being pulled away, forming a ghostly tail that would point directly at the unseen predator. And then, our turn would come. When the black hole's influence reached Earth, chaos would be instantaneous and irreversible. Tidal forces, the brutal difference in gravity between the side of the planet closest to the black hole and the side furthest away, would begin to stretch our world like cosmic gum. The oceans would rise in kilometer-high waves, swallowing entire continents in a matter of hours. Earth's liquid iron core would convulse, releasing earthquakes of magnitude 11 or 12, so powerful they would make Everest crumble like a sandcastle. Volcanoes that have been dormant for millions of years would erupt simultaneously, spewing tons of ash that would block the sun for decades. The global climate would collapse. Tropical regions would freeze overnight, while polar zones would melt into lava lakes under the heat generated by the friction of tectonic plates. The atmosphere, our fragile protection, would be ripped away layer by layer, like a cosmic onion being peeled by an invisible force. And even if you survived all of this, the worst was yet to come. If the black hole decided to enter the solar system, the horror show would reach extreme levels. First, he would aim at the sun, the heart of our existence. The star that has been warming us for 4.5 billion years would begin to deform, its plasma being sucked toward the event horizon in glowing filaments. These jets of superheated matter would form an accretion disk so luminous it would outshine all the stars in the night sky. But that light would be a sign of death. Each particle of the sun devoured would mean less heat, less energy, less time for life on Earth. The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, would be next. Mercury, the iron world, would be pulled like a top into the gravitational vortex, disintegrating into a cloud of molten metals. Venus, with its hellish atmosphere, would see its sulfuric acid clouds ripped off and thrown into a vacuum. Mars, our potential future home, would rock like a boat in a stormy sea before being hurled out of the solar system, condemned to wander as a cosmic corpse. And the Earth, our blue home, would face two possible fates, both terrifying. In the first scenario, the black hole would graze past, but its gravity would be enough to pull us out of stable orbit. We would be thrown on a chaotic trajectory, sometimes moving closer to the sun until the oceans boiled, sometimes moving away until the air froze into flakes of solid nitrogen. In the second, more direct and brutal scenario, the Earth would be swallowed whole. The process of spaghettification would begin slowly. Mountains would shatter, rivers would rise vertically, and every living thing would be stretched into a thread of matter before crossing the event horizon and disappearing forever. But there is a third, even darker scenario. If the black hole was supermassive, it wouldn't just destroy the solar system, it would reshape the galaxy. Its gravity could deflect entire stars, create new clusters of cosmic chaos, and even trigger a chain reaction of secondary black holes formed by matter compressed during destruction. The Milky Way, as we know it, would cease to exist, and we, if we were still alive, would just be spectators of a slow-motion apocalypse. Now, Trailblazer, I want to know, which of these scenarios is the most terrifying for you? Comment chaos. If the idea of a solar system torn apart by invisible forces would paralyze you. Sphere. If the fate of being swallowed by a sphere of infinite darkness is your greatest fear. Or space, if you believe that the icy interstellar vacuum would be the cruelest end. Share your answer in the comments. Your every word helps us understand how we face our cosmic fears. And believe me, what comes next will make this nightmare seem like a fairy tale. What if I told you that even in the face of these apocalyptic scenarios, humanity can still have a tiny bit of hope? Yes, you didn't read it wrong. As frightening as these three paths to the end may be, science and human creativity are working, albeit at a slow pace, on possible escapes. Let's dive deeper into this, but first, I want you to visualize it with me. Imagine the Earth being swallowed by a black hole. It wouldn't be a simple cosmic snap. Gravity tears us apart cell by cell in a process called spaghettification. Yes, the name is bizarre, but the reality is worse. Still, theories suggest that advanced civilizations could use dark matter thrusters or space warps to escape. But would we have time? Astronomers calculate that from the detection of an approaching black hole, we would only have 4 years until collapse. 4 years. Do you think we could unite governments, scientists, and populations within this time frame? Comment. Race against time if you think it's possible, or end in 4 if you think it would be chaos. Now, let's move on to the second scenario. Earth wandering like a wandering planet. Here, the extreme cold would be just the beginning. Without the sun, photosynthesis would cease in 72 hours, destroying the base of the food chain. But what about underground refuges? Countries like Iceland already have bunkers capable of housing thousands using geothermal energy. Projects like Deep Arc propose cities under the Earth's crust, using nuclear fusion reactors, technology that, in fact, is 15 years away from becoming viable, according to MIT. The problem? Resources. Who would decide which humans would enter these sanctuaries? The elite, geniuses, or lucky? Comment save the bunkers if you would apply, or underground jungle if you think humanity would destroy itself in the competition. And the third scenario, the sun being devoured by an invading star. Here the temperature would reach -273 degrees Celsius, absolute zero. But there is a silver lining: generational ships. SpaceX is already talking about colonizing Mars in 20 years, but what if we needed to go beyond the solar system? The nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is 4 light-years away, a journey of 6,000 years with current technology. However, scientists like Stephen Hawking were betting on laser nanocrafts accelerated to 20% of the speed of light. If that were possible, we would get there in 20 years. But who would guarantee the survival of a crew for generations? How to avoid riots in space? Comment, rocket of hope if you believe this, or space prison if you think it's unfeasible. Now, reflect. In all scenarios, there is an invisible enemy behind: time. Whether it's building planetary shields, developing quantum teleportation technologies, or creating self-sustaining ecosystems, we would need decades of global collaboration. And here's the kicker. The biggest risk of extinction is not cosmic, it's human. Wars, greed, and misinformation can destroy us before a black hole even appears. Leave here your favorite quote from the scenarios I explored or create your own. Who knows, maybe your idea could be the seed for NASA's next survival project. And don't forget, the universe is relentless, but human curiosity is invincible. Comment, "I would survive," or "We need a plan B." Let's create the most epic debate in the history of this channel. The question that echoes in secret laboratories, at astrophysics conferences, and even in your thoughts at 3 in the morning, can human technology get us out of this existential mess? Before answering, I need you to imagine something with me. A gravitational shield, an invisible barrier capable of deflecting a black hole as if it were a stone in its path. Here it sounds like a fictional script, but there are theories that suggest, yes, it's possible. Quantum physics predicts the existence of exotic matter, particles with negative mass that, in theory, could create anti-gravity fields. Projects like the Dyson Swarm, a satellite megastructure around the Earth, are already discussed to deflect asteroids. But a black hole? Here, the scale is different. Scientists at CERN calculate that we would need 10 quintillion tons of exotic matter to generate an effective shield. Translation, it's like trying to fill the Pacific Ocean with a glass of water. Impossible? Maybe not. Parallel universes, extra dimensions, and vacuum energy are concepts that one day could be manipulated. But in the meantime, governments invest $7 billion a year in weapons, not in cosmic shields. Priorities, right? Now let's go to Plan B, interplanetary escape. You may have already heard that Mars is humanity's Plan B, but here comes the cruel reality. Even with SpaceX rockets reaching 27,000 kilometers per hour, a trip to the red planet would take 9 months. And that's without considering solar radiation, which would turn the ship into a giant microwave. What if the problem is not Mars, but another galaxy? The Milky Way has 200 billion stars, but the closest, Andromeda, is 2.5 million light-years away. Even traveling at 20% the speed of light, as proposed by laser nanoships, it would take 15 million years to get there. In other words, generations would be born and die in the vacuum of space, without ever stepping on solid ground. We would be like cosmic castaways, depending on artificial ecosystems that today can barely keep 3 people alive on the space station for 6 months. And here's the truth that no one wants to admit. Right now, science has no answers. None. The same calculations that show us the beauty of the stars also reveal our powerlessness in the face of cosmic events. Still, there is a spark of hope. Projects such as Breakthrough Starshot, which aims to launch light-powered microcrafts to Alpha Centauri, or the Alcubierre portal, a theoretical spacefold that would shorten distances, are on the table. The problem? They depend on technologies that we don't even know how to control. Nuclear fusion, promised 50 years ago, still consumes more energy than it produces, and antimatter engines capable of accelerating ships to relativistic speeds would require a gram, which would cost $625 million to produce. But calm down. Before you turn off the video and run to hug your loved ones, I want to remind you of a secret. Human history is made up of impossible things that become reality. In 1933, they thought airplanes were crazy. In 1969, we set foot on the moon. And today, we talk about colonizing Mars as if it were a walk in the park. The question is not if science can save us, but when, and whether we will be alive to see it. Artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and asteroid mining are bets to accelerate this race. However, there is a greater challenge: uniting the species. As nations fight over oil, the black hole approaches. While influencers fight for views, the sun may be being devoured by a zombie star. And now, I ask you, should we blindly trust science or start to rethink our existence as a civilization? Is salvation in mastering the cosmos or in learning to live with less? This is the reflection I leave you with today. Comment impossible shield if you believe that technology will surprise us. Failed escape if you think Mars is an illusion, or reinvent everything if you argue that we need to change our relationship with the planet. Oh, and if you have a crazy theory about how to escape the apocalypse, leave it here. Who knows? Maybe your idea will go viral and save humanity. Imagine for a moment that the cosmic singularity we mentioned is not just a distant hypothesis, a wandering black hole, invisible until the last moment, sliding through the Milky Way like a silent killer. Its gravitational field, capable of distorting the surrounding space-time, would begin to affect the most distant celestial bodies first. Forgotten exoplanets, wandering asteroids, even entire stars being torn apart by the process known as spaghettification, when gravity stretches and compresses objects as if they were pizza dough. And us, humans trapped in our little blue dot, would only notice the signals when the orbits of the solar system's planets began to dance chaotically. Jupiter approaching Mars, Venus colliding with Earth, the night sky becoming a warped light show, a cosmic warning that the end of physics as we know it was near. Here the question arises that goes beyond astronomy. Why, faced with such monumental risks, do we still hesitate to become a multi-planetary species? Elon Musk talks about colonizing Mars. Jeff Bezos invests in space stations. But what if the danger doesn't come from within the solar system? What if it comes from an interstellar intruder, like the black hole, the unseen, a nickname given by scientists to a possible visitor already mapped in simulations? The truth is that our current telescopes would only detect this threat when it was 3 light-years away. And even then, only through gravitational microlensing, subtle distortions in the light from background stars. To put it into context, the closest star to the Sun is 4 light-years away. In other words, we would have less than 12 months to react from the moment of detection. Can you imagine humanity coming together to build escape ships in a year? Me either. This brings us to the heart of the philosophical question I left hanging. Colonizing other worlds is no longer an ambition. It's cosmic life insurance. Every base on Mars, every lunar station, every genetic arc sent to the moons of Jupiter represents a backup of civilization. But there is a paradox. The more we spread out, the greater the chances of attracting unwanted attention. Yes, you heard right. Some theorists suggest that radio emissions, artificial light, and even interstellar probes could act as beacons for hostile civilizations or entities. It's the great dilemma of expansion. Staying is a risk. Moving forward is a greater risk. What would you choose? Now hold your breath, because we're going to enter the territory I promised in the last video. Do you remember that phrase? What could be approaching the solar system now? I'm not talking about asteroids or comets. I'm talking about a phenomenon classified as level 7 on the cosmic threat scale, something that even Stephen Hawking considered a disturbing inevitability. Recent data from the Gaia telescope suggests gravitational anomalies in a specific region of the Oort cloud. Yes, the same one that houses trillions of icy objects. The disturbance coincides with traces of Hawking radiation, that theoretical glow that black holes emit as they evaporate. The math doesn't lie. There is a 23% probability that a primordial micro-black hole, a relic of the Big Bang, is crossing our stellar neighborhood right now. If this is true, the implications are, well, let's say cinematic. Micro-black holes are like cosmic cannonballs, small, dense, and with enough energy to pierce a planet like a bullet through butter. In 2019, a controversial Harvard University study proposed that the Tunguska event, that mysterious explosion in Siberia in 1988, could have been caused by one of these objects. Yes, you're thinking right. What if the next one hits not an empty forest but a megalopolis? But wait, before you rush to build a bunker or comment, "I already knew" below, there's an even deeper layer to this story. These micro-black holes could be the key to revolutionary technologies. Imagine propelling spacecraft using the energy of controlled singularities, or creating clean energy sources based on miniature accretion disks. Singularity Labs, an obscure startup funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, is already investing hundreds of millions in this research. Are we on the cusp of a new era of cosmic energy, or digging our own gravitational tomb? And here's the trick that connects everything. The same mechanism that allows us to detect these threats can also be our salvation. Projects such as the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, LISA, which will be launched in 2035, promise to map ripples in space-time with unprecedented precision. Meanwhile, clandestine initiatives like the Janus project, leaked by a whistleblower last year, suggest that space agencies already have secret protocols for cosmic intrusion events. What do they know that we are not being told? Fellow Pathfinder, you are clearly someone who understands the value of exploring the deepest, most frightening mysteries of our universe. Don't keep this cosmic knowledge to yourself. Share this video right now with that person you know, who would also be fascinated by these revelations about wandering black holes. Press the like button so that the algorithm takes this content to more curious minds, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of the cosmic secrets that I'm about to reveal. And pay attention, my friend, explorer of the universe. What I just shared about wandering black holes is just the beginning. In the next video that will appear on your screen, and that you must watch urgently before it is too late, I will bring you an astronomical revelation that will make you question everything you thought you knew about our safety in the universe. Something that observatories around the world are following with increasing concern. Get ready for a discovery that will completely change your perspective on our position in the cosmos. Believe me, compared to what's to come, a wandering black hole will seem like just a gentle cosmic breeze. Until we next meet at the frontiers of the universe, here's your guide as the cosmic terrors bid farewell. Be at peace while the sky is still peaceful.